Hey everyone, I'm going to be doing a vlog about how I got into esports. A lot of people have been asking, and a lot of people want to get into esports, and um, hopefully this story can help. um, you can decide at the end. But I guess it all goes back when I was a kid playing Smash Brothers with all my friends, trying to be very competitive. It was always about who was the best at Smash Brothers, and it was usually me. I don't mean to brag, but it was. And it was close, but I usually took the top. And so did a lot of like tournaments when we were kids, sixth, seventh, eighth grade. We'd have parties and stuff, and we'd literally just all sit around and play Smash Brothers all night. And we'd have tournament structure and write out brackets and everything. It started from a pretty young age that we wanted that structure and that sort of thing. So played Smash Brothers until Smash Brothers Melee came out, and then that was the big game. Played that for quite a few years. I remember we would do Smash Brothers tournaments in high school, the original one, my freshman year. So it was a long time ago, dating myself. Excuse me. And then I remember ditching school and driving me and all my friends to go buy Smash Brothers Melee the day it came out. We all cut school and we all went back to my buddy's house. We played it all day. And I think the next weekend that weekend we started running tournaments. So the tournament thing has always been in my group of friends. We're always competitive, always playing Smash Brothers. We even had membership cards at one point. And word got around that we had these membership cards that were competitive in this game. And, we had originally like 5 people playing Smash Brothers and we had 8. And then I think that at our highest point, there was like 20 or 25 people in my parents' house one night. And we're all playing Smash Brothers. And if you won Smash Brothers tournament, you got a gold star on your membership card. This is how nerdy we were. So, yeah, it's really good. So played a lot of that, and then I remember we played that through high school, and then I started college at Sacramento State University. Terrible school, don't go there. Just kidding. And first day I get out of class and I'm walking around campus trying to check things out, and I find an arcade. And I was like, holy crap, there's an arcade here. I didn't know that. It's not there anymore, sadly. And I look in and there's 20 people huddled around one cabinet, and it was Marvel versus Capcom 2. And I remember thinking, holy crap, look at, there's a lot of competition here. That game looks terrible, but um, it's still going to be pretty competitive. So I plugged quarters in, just got destroyed, absolutely destroyed. But really enjoyed it. So I remember that weekend going out and buying the PlayStation 2 version of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And if any of you have played that version or know about it, it's terrible. It's not anything like the arcade, and so there's a lot of differences. Well, it's similar, but there's a lot of differences. Yeah, so played a lot of that, and then got an arcade stick and just hit the ground running. I just wanted to be really good at the game, and it didn't take long. I was starting to beat most of the people in the arcade. Just wanted to be competitive. Whatever the most competitive game in my like sphere of my life was what I played. So when I was with me and all my friends, it was Smash Brothers. When everyone went away to college, it was Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And I played Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for a long time. And I played that, and I played Capcom vs. SNK 2 and Guilty Gear and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. For a while, those were like the big 4 games. I played all of them. I just wanted to learn everything. I would learn one game, and it would help me with another one. I played so much. Yeah, so I played that for a long time. Kind of going in and out of school at this point, not really sure what I wanted to do with my life. Um, but I was going to these tournaments for Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and I remember going to one, and there was 20 people signed up for Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and I look over, and there's 100 people signed up for Smash Brothers Brawl. And I was like, and again, like whatever's the most competitive thing, that's what I want to play. So I went to Evo to play Marvel. I was really into it, but as soon as I saw how big the community was for Smash Brothers, and how competitive it was, I switched games. Me and all my friends, I had all that Smash Brothers experience. I had bought the game when it came out. I thought it was awesome. I just thought it was like a party game, and that it wasn't competitive outside just parties and at home with your friends and that sort of thing. But holy shit, it was. There was tons of people playing this game. So I started playing Smash Brothers a lot. This was like 2008, I think, 2009. Can't remember when it came out. Yeah, so I was playing that a lot, and I was traveling a lot, playing it. It was getting pretty good. I was doing like top eights, so not like super great, but I was decent. And I mean, some people can in the LoL community can attest that. Um, I did pretty well at PAX. I got fourth, I think, at PAX and Smash Brothers, and I lost to the guy who's won the last 3 years, and he won that year too. And I actually hadn't played for like a year and a half or something like that. So I'm decent at Smash Brothers, but it was the most competitive game, and I just wanted to play it a lot. And then my friends picked up Starcraft 2, and I had no desire to play it at all. Like I was like, well, that game's it's not gonna be as competitive as Smash Brothers. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. It was like the dumbest thing I've ever said in my whole life. But they're playing it, and it's like, well, you know what? I want to beat my friends. That's one of my big things in life. I just want to be better than my friends at whatever video game they're playing. And it was StarCraft 2, so I picked that up, and actually I excelled pretty quick for never playing RTS. I mean, I played Warcraft, here and there and whatnot, but and a little Dota here and there, but I excelled pretty quick. I got Diamond in about like a month and a half or something like that, and was just destroying my friends. Again, it's all about just beating your friends, about that rivalry that drives competition. So just was stomping people, and I'm playing StarCraft 2, and this is when I found out about eSports. It wasn't I played StarCraft and then I found out about eSports. It wasn't the other way around, and I was really into it. MLG had just picked up StarCraft 2, and it was starting to get real big, really, really big. I'm watching a lot of tournaments. Me and all my friends are watching tournaments, looking at strats. That's when I like really fell in love with this idea of esports, and the big show, the big stage, playing up there. And I didn't really have any ambition to go pro at this point. I think I had just entered graduate school. So I got my undergrad in social work, and I was going for my master's in social work at Sac State. So I couldn't go pro, and I wanted to finish my degree, but I really wanted to play this game a lot. So I was just playing with me and my friends, and then in April of 2011, is that right? Yeah, April 2011, I see a post on Reddit in the StarCraft subreddit about, hey, IGN is creating this league, and we need to hire people so that we can run these tournaments and everything. I was like, wow, that's like an hour and a half from here. IGN is in San Francisco. I lived in Sacramento. I could go and drive out there and check it out, maybe do an interview or something. So I applied. Zero experience. I mean, I've been running tournaments, with my friends, running some tournaments outside of that, doing some online stuff with StarCraft. I had a position at my university where I would coordinate all these volunteers and things like that. So I was pretty good at coordinating people. And so I just sent in my resume, and I was like, hey, I have no experience. I really BS the whole thing. I have no experience, but it's a unique approach. As a social worker, I know how to interact with people and blah, blah, blah. Just try to really BS it up, because literally I did not deserve the job. And that's probably why I didn't get it. Surprise, surprise. I got turned down for the job, interviewed with Alex Kahn, who's the old division manager over there at IGN for StarCraft, and didn't get it. Was a little sad. I talked with my wife. If you guys know, I'm married. Talked with my wife. I was like, hey, if I get this job, any chance we can move to the Bay Area? And she's like, well, we'll see. So I didn't get the job, so I didn't have to worry about it. No big deal. Then fast forward a few months, I'm still playing tons of StarCraft, watching everything, watching IPL. It's awesome. I get an email from Alex Kahn saying, hey, man, we were really impressed with your interview. Sorry we couldn't give you the job, but we'd like to bring you out to Atlantic City for IPL 3 as one of our managers, managing one of the stages, which was the qualifier stage. I was like, so free trip to Atlantic City, you're going to pay me. You're paying for my food, and I get to watch like StarCraft. I was like, this is amazing. So went out to Atlantic City. I was bragging to all my friends. None of them believed me that I was getting to fly out to do this thing. And I got there, and I just worked my ass off. I remember being, in most cases, the first one there in the morning and the last one to leave at night. I just really, really wanted to impress IPL with how hard I could work. I'd get up at 6 a.m. and I'd work till, midnight, and then I would go out and try to network with people and have drinks afterwards. And so I'd do that till like 3 in the morning. So I'm getting like 3 hours of sleep a night, and it's not even good sleep, because I'm just headache from like the smoke, and it's just terrible. But I really wanted to work in esports, right? I want to, and so I just keep networking. I'm talking to Frank Fields, now the division manager of Starcraft at IPL. I'm talking to Alex Kahn. I'm like, hey guys, I'd love to get a job with you. If anything opens up, let me know. And then, and then that was it. The last day at Atlantic City, I remember thinking to myself, man, this sucks. Tomorrow I go home and I don't work in esports. And that was a terrible feeling. And I was like, I just really need to work hard and make connections, and hopefully something will pan out. So I went back to school, just trying to finish my master's degree, just riding that out. And then I think in October maybe, I get an email or a Skype message from Alex Kahn again. He's like, hey, I don't know if you play League of Legends, but we're creating a League of Legends division here, and we need an operations manager for League of Legends. And I was like, okay, yeah, and he's like, well, are you interested? I'm like, yes, I'm very interested. And then in my head, I'm like, I don't like League of Legends. I think it's terrible. I want to work in Starcraft. I don't want to drop out of school for a game that I don't play, and all these things. So I was just like, no, I don't want to do it. In my head, but on here, I'm typing it out. I'm telling them, yeah, I really want the job, which is not true, really. I was just thinking, I can possibly transfer to Starcraft, or if they create a fighting game division, I'm an old fighting game player, so I could just, maybe transition into there. These are all the thoughts that are going on in my head. So I talked to them, and I get the interview, and they asked me like, hey, do you play League of Legends? And I'm like, I do not play League of Legends at all. I've played it one time about a year ago. It's probably a completely different game now, and it was. But they were so impressed with how hard I worked and how well I managed people at IPL 3 that they're like, well, that's okay. You can learn the game, and we really want you on board. And I was like, okay. So that was like a really big compliment to me about how hard I'd worked, and it looked like it paid off. And so talking over with the wife, like, hey, if I do this, I have 1 semester of my master's degree left. It's a little, it's quite a bit of risk. I'm going to move 2 hours, to the Bay Area, drop everything, my whole life in Sacramento, move to the Bay Area. It's not, it's not that far, so it's not as big as some people that have been moved from the East Coast, but it's still a big deal. And I was, I was really worried, but we talked about it, and this was an insane opportunity. This was really crazy. All my parents were supportive, but were very hesitant. Part of them was like, what, that he's played video games his whole life. He might as well do this because, that's what he loves to do. And it was absolutely true. I just love video games. This was the right move. So I took the job at IPL, having played League of Legends like 1 time. And, in between the interview and when I got, offered the position, I played a lot, trying to, get up, and so I could, show that I'm actually interested. So I ended up going from like level 1 to 22 in a week or something like that. I played 8, 10, 12 hours a day, rode that out for a long time, played a lot of games. Still didn't like the game at all. And that was the scariest part, was I was coming into a job that I didn't like the game, but I thought about it. I was like, well, people don't really like their jobs. Like, you work at, Home Depot or whatever, like, you don't like what you're working with all the time. It's not the greatest job, but it's so much about the environment. So I'm going to be around these gamers that are just constantly competitive. I was like, what, this is going to be fun. I'm going to take the job, and we'll see what happens. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I landed the job at IGN. It was a lot of luck on the part that basically a lot of people didn't apply for this position, or that I worked really hard. I was definitely not the qualified. I hardly played League of Legends. I didn't know the community. I didn't really know anything, and so I was going in completely clean, which is I think is different than a lot of people. A lot of people get hired because they're already prominent or because they have a lot of knowledge, but I got hired because other reasons. And yeah, so I started in esports in January, and so it's been 1 year, and it's been a good year so far. Esports has been really good to me, and I was promoted at IPL to the division manager in October, and yeah, things are going really well. IPL 5 was an amazing event, really, really successful, thanks to the fans and the support of the community. And yeah, I've been really lucky. that's really the gist of the story. Is got lucky and landed a job in esports, and it actually worked out. Well, it has up to this point. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's how I got into esports. I love you all, and thanks so much for all your support. Through the months, and following the IPL and everything like that. It's been a really good ride, and here's hoping for another good year in 2013. Make sure you guys add me on Twitter and subscribe to my channel, and I'll put lots of cool videos up for you guys. See you.